Hey guys, we're back with another podcast. So today we're actually going to be talking about the Xbox One X versus the PlayStation 4 Pro. I'll start off with Lucky's then. Do you have any thoughts on the Xbox One, the new one?
The new Xbox One
Yeah,
X.
what are your thoughts on it?
I think it was a logical step forward from the PS4 Pro if you're going to release it a year later, but I'm not so sure that releasing it at a $500 price point is going to be the way to go when you can also get almost all the games that people are hyped for on it on your
Mm,
PC as well.
exactly, yeah. Because I know they were talking about the PS4 Pro. They thought that that was going to be one of the smart moves because that's what they usually do. Is every time Microsoft comes up with their conference, PlayStation usually will pretty much destroy them with either bringing down the price for the next console or they always bring something else to the table in terms of, I guess, processing power, you would say. But I know that they didn't bring down the price though for the PS4 Pro. I think it was still
Right.
$400. So they were actually surprised that they didn't do that.
Yeah, it still is $400.
Yeah.
I would say that the logical step for Sony to go to next then is right about the time, say 2 weeks before the release of the Xbox One X, bam, drop the price to $300 on a PS4 Pro, even for just a limited
Mhm.
time. Drop it right then,
I could see
and
them
just
doing that.
watch people who are kind of still on the fence and leaning
Hmm.
towards the Xbox One X be like, hold on a minute, I can save how much?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
because
believe
the
it's
issue,
fair. All
I
right?
mean, the issue with the Xbox One X, I'm just gonna call it the One X. This is way too long. The One X, the One X, the price for what $400 price tag with tax, what maybe 450 or so, especially with games
$500 price tag.
yeah,
500,
five.
yeah.
Oh, it's 499, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I was thinking the
499.
399. Yeah, so 499, $500 price tag for the console. Consoles have never sold well at that price,
correct.
like ever. And the PS3, I remember that came out. That was like what $700 something when that first came out. And then they're like, well, this did not do well at all. Write it down for like $300. Then people started buying it.
Well,
And
who
so
knows? Because maybe Xbox might do something more of like giving more benefits
Yeah.
out to the players buying it at such a high price like that, making
yeah,
maybe lowering the price of like the monthly subscriptions or whatever for online play,
yeah,
or allowing more free games to download from like older systems that are backwards compatible with the new system.
yeah,
I mean, who knows? Because there's all those different factors that can play into why a price is so high for a system,
yeah,
right? Because you also kind of have to look into like the PlayStation and Xbox, right? Sony and Microsoft, how they've been at competition for years now, and you know how Sony's had, obviously those scares of being hacked,
yeah,
right, and all that. So you also got to figure like, oh, okay, Sony's been hacked, right? There could be faults with them
yeah,
going that direction. Maybe the reason why they have such a lower price tag on their system is to maybe gain more
yeah.
bring
Attract more people.
customers.
I mean,
Yeah.
each side is always going to have something better to offer, whether it's price or in terms of content or anything else.
True. I
Yeah.
think the biggest deciding factor for 90% of players nowadays, too, as far as what console they're going to buy, is what console did my friends buy?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
I mean,
definitely.
if all
Yeah.
of your friends have a PS4, then you're probably looking at a PS4 Pro regardless of what
Yeah.
the specs are, because, it'd be sweet to be like, yeah, I've got this sweet new console that I play all by myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
You
when
know
you
what
when
I
you look
mean?
at the lineups from E3, the games when you compare them, the PlayStation seems to have a lot more games that are graphically demanding. Like you've seen, The Last of Us, there's Uncharted, all these other games, and they're going to be released on the PS4 Pro. Yet the Xbox One X has a higher processing power. We've seen it's got a better GPU, more RAM. It's got a faster clocking speed, but a lot of the games they've shown was it was just a lot of indie games and nothing really that amazing. And
Yep.
yeah, it was like except for Battlegrounds. It was just Battlegrounds and Forza, which is usually what
Yes.
they always just show off as just some Forza or like FIFA game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
and when you look at these consoles too, especially at the price, there's a lot of people like you said that are going to try and find the console that a lot of their friends are going to be playing. That's what their parents going to be drawn to. But when you look at the price, you could either get a Xbox One and a PS4 exactly for the same price as the One X, or you can try and figure out and play your cards right by getting a One X, but hoping within that first year or second year that they're going to actually have titles that are worthy of purchasing the console in the first place.
Mhm.
I think that's going to be the biggest issue. That was the issue with the PS4 when that came out. I mean, you got it. I got sucked in with the Destiny bundle. I liked Destiny, but there was a lot of those games where if developers too aren't playing it right, and they're not coming out and releasing content right away, or actually, because there's been a lot of games where they're hyped and then they've been a letdown. If you have developers doing that, but you also have the companies like Microsoft or PlayStation screwing players over as well, then nobody's going to know what to choose. So I feel like that's going to be an issue as well.
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up was I'm super proud about how much Sony has become a company, because if you realize how many issues when the PS3 came out, that was a crap console. I'm sorry, I just got to throw that out there. How many times the PlayStation Network was down, how many glitches and bugs that console had compared to the 360.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see that even with the Xbox One X coming out, it's cool to see how much Sony is still dominating when it comes to video games. You know?
Yeah.
I've always told people, like I was telling you guys earlier, if you want a gaming console, buy a PlayStation. If you want a family console, buy an Xbox. You know, so I really like that Sony's really stepped up their game over the years when it comes to actually dominating. Because for me, the PS4 has taken the Xbox One way, blown it out of the water. I mean, when it comes to gaming consoles. So I don't know. I wanted to mention.
I mean, if you want more of a family console, you just buy a freaking Nintendo. Like
that's true. That's true.
Do you because I know now consoles they're trying to move to 4K. Do you think 4K is going to be a huge thing for consoles? Do you think that's like a huge waste on developers
Look
at
how long 4K has been available on PC, and you will still find the majority of people building
1080p
serious
builds.
dedicated gaming PCs they'll almost all tell you the same thing. Don't bother with 4K. Buy either buy a lower resolution monitor with a better refresh rate, and you won't regret it. All of my friends that have sweet gaming PCs run their PCs on 1440 144 hertz monitors, and they are thrilled. They don't see the point in 4K. And honestly, as a console gamer and a PC gamer myself, I want 1080p 60 frames per second to be the standard before I want 4K to even be mentioned. Yeah. I do not care about 4K at 30 frames per second, because I don't care if it looks pretty if it looks like a slideshow.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I'm with you, because I don't have $4,000 laying around to go, buy a 4K TV.
Yeah.
I mean, who has that kind of money laying around? And so if you make it 60 frames per second with 1080p, I mean, that's the norm. And you fix a lot of the problems for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, and the amount of money that they put into these consoles as well to allow them to be able to do 4K, I think it's ridiculous when a lot of the games, which, I mean, are mostly multiplayer games, but you see a lot of these games for consoles that the graphics look like, like you see some games, they look like they're like 1080p, barely reaching 60 on low graphics with shadows turned off. Which I'm not trying to even bash consoles. Like, I do like playing consoles. Like I said, I like playing Destiny. But the amount of money that they put in these consoles for 4K, when a lot of console players have never even played 4K before. So for them, they're like, oh, this could be super amazing. But now they have to dumb everything else down to be able to reach that. So there's always going to be some sort of compromise. It's not going to be, oh, this is what this was before. Now you're going to have this in true 4K. There's always going to be some sort of compromise or something taking out.
I mean, I think the 4K is mainly just there to kind of bring in that consumer base of like, oh, hey, there's something brand new. Something that sounds better. Like, oh, hey, this is better. All right, sweet. Let me go buy this. Like, the consumer is always just going to want to buy the brand new, the new best thing, even though they may not be the best thing available.
Yeah, I don't know. It sort of makes sense to me why they did the 4K thing for Sony, because you got to figure Sony also makes 4K TVs.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that being a marketing tactic, so.
Absolutely. So to an extent, I understand that. And I also feel, to the same extent, that Sony releasing the PS4 Pro first and touting it as this is the 4K console, this can do it, this can get you what you want out of your TV, forced Microsoft's hand. Microsoft doesn't really have a whole lot. I guarantee no one at Microsoft was thinking, hey, we'll sell more TVs, because they don't. But they're like, shit, they said 4K now. We have to. We don't have a choice. We can't say, look at all this 4K stuff, and be like, well, you can do 1080, 60 FPS, because to a tech, your average tech nerd who's only looking at specs, they're going to see 4K and they're going to see 1080, and that's it. That's all they're going to see.
Yep.
For sure.
I mean,
Well, what's funny to me is they use all these years, right, to come up with 4K, and they want to make all their consoles 4K, and then it seems like next year is like, welcome to the 16K, TV coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, who has this kind of money laying around?
yep.
Yeah, and it's
I
not
don't
just
know why.
games.
Why don't they focus on the now?
Yeah, it's
Why
not
don't
just
they focus
games.
on
It's
helping
not really
people?
big with anything else either. Like, they're just coming out with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So it's just part of the hype train, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Absolutely.
So it's always about having the new whatever else is available. Everybody's going to want to have it.
You know what's funny too? It's like, you guys remember when Watch Dogs came out a couple of years ago, and it was super hyped up, right?
Yeah.
And during the E3 conference, they had like amazing graphics for it. And then if you notice, they actually dumbed down all the graphics for the consoles.
Oh, they did
Really
it
made it
drastically.
super nice, 4K, all
The
that.
Division as well. Very
The
drastic.
Division was bad.
It was horrible.
Yeah, Division
Horrible
too.
for it.
Fun game for a while, but my god, the graphics. It was literally like going from an HD TV to a newspaper.
Well, I mean, that's all like
That was
E3
good.
really is. It's just like a marketing,
Yeah.
platform. Like
Hype generation.
it's just there to help sell their products.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, it does suck.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not good. But
No.
I mean, did you guys have anything else to add towards the
Yeah,
consoles? I mean, in terms of specs, or
Something something that's very interesting to me. I've seen other people bring it up elsewhere as well. Is so Microsoft and this Xbox One X, and they're touting it as this fucking big badass console, and
Mhm.
this is it. This is the future. This is what you want as a console gamer. But my concern for it is now, how usable is all that power going to be in the sense of certain games? And the reason I say that is, take a look at some competitive games. A good example here would be For Honor. Look at For Honor on consoles versus PC. Things that are a problem on the consoles are a problem because of lower frame rate and lower, which creates lower reaction windows for things like that. And they weren't a problem on the PC. Now, if you translate that to the consoles, if say For Honor 2 releases on both Xbox One and the One X, but it's 30 FPS on one, 60 FPS on the other, but you're still expecting them to play on the same servers,
yeah,
that's not going to work.
No, it's
to
not.
be like, hey, you have the more expensive console, here's your competitive edge. I'm not saying that would be wrong, because you spent more money, you should have you have the nicer
yeah,
machine.
you should get what you pay for.
You should not win simply because your daddy's a lawyer and his daddy's a lawyer. That's not,
Yeah.
that's true.
So
Pay to
it's
win
very
games,
interesting to me to see, will developers actually be able to take crazy advantage of this new hardware in their games while still being able to sell them for both platforms, or will they only release games, say this will only run right on the Xbox One X?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that
maybe
they got to keep in mind.
they'll put out games and stuff that will have like a little warning label at the very bottom, like in the
Yeah.
fine print.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how that new hardware will react, because people were concerned about it with the PS4 Pro launching too, only to find out that no, they're keeping frame rates stable, 30 FPS or 60 FPS if the developer wants to go put in the work for it, but the frame rates will be the same on the Pro and same on the standard PS4. But you could play one in 4K.
Can I mention one thing about these games coming out for both consoles? So when I look at the list, right, for the the PS4 Pro, we have The Last of Us 2, we have Uncharted, new one, we have God of War 4, Days Gone, all these amazing games. When I look at the Xbox One X, it's like Just Dance 4 in 4K.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, I know which console I'm buying.
Yeah.
I just don't why are they trying to compete here? It's just, I mean, it'd be cool to play, Players Unknown Battlegrounds on the Xbox. That'd be cool. That I can play it on console. I can finally run it for once.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't see any other games they're competing with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what their mistake was. Was if they had a great lineup, like if they had games that were as graphically demanding and highly anticipated as the ones that Sony was offering during their conference, Microsoft would have blown all of them out of the water. I think if they had a really great lineup, but this year they didn't, and I feel like they actually tend to do that pretty much every conference that they go to. It's either like Just Dance or some sort of VR like petting zoo game.
Do you
I
guys
feel
think
like.
Microsoft is trying to like please everybody, where Sony is trying to just please like gamers? You know, it feels like that every year.
That's
Well,
definitely
it's
how it is,
a
'cause I think-
social media device.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Because
what it
I
is.
feel like definitely with the Xbox and stuff, it's like, you know, it's focused more towards like family, you know, fun, right? To have the family all
Yeah.
get together and play a game together, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, PlayStation, it feels like it's more connected to the gamers and what they
Mhm.
want, right? So they're probably, you know, with the Xbox and the PlayStation, yes, there are probably some of the games in that list that might end up happening to where they might become cross-platform. You know, might be available for Xbox and the PlayStation. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, they did that with Final Fantasy 15.
And Tomb Raider.
Mhm.
So it's just, you never know what's going to happen, and I think it's definitely because of the fact that Xbox is, you know, trying to please the family side of things, and then PlayStation is obviously focused more towards the individual gamer.
Yeah.
One thing I wish
Yeah,
they'd
sure.
get rid of is exclusives. You know, it sucks that Battlegrounds only coming to the Xbox first. You know, and then of course I think they'll bring it to PlayStation. Right?
Yeah. Well,
Are they
that's
doing
what they did with Tomb Raider.
Yep.
The last Tomb Raider, they did that. It was just partnering with Microsoft.
Yeah, 'cause they didn't get Tomb Raider on
Yeah.
the PS4 till like years later. Right?
Well, I mean, it's the
It was
same.
a year later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
as Call of Duty. I mean, how they switched over to PlayStation. It's just the whole marketing.
Destiny.
You know, thing,
Yep,
Destiny.
there's still
Marketing. I think
content
there's a
in
lot of stuff
Destiny.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes though when it comes into that, because you know you have to think about they have to build all these servers to be allow the players to connect to the servers and create the games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's probably all this work and stuff behind the scenes
Yeah.
that you have to go through and stuff. It's, you know,
I thought it was neat. You know, Caleb, where you mentioned that Destiny 2 is going to be on the PC now coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
they're
gonna be
partnering
interesting.
up with Blizzard actually to have the game run through Battle.net. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Why
So-
create your own launcher when there's
Yeah.
already an established, you know, beautifully functioning
Oh yeah,
launcher
definitely.
in the Activision family?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then with them renaming it to the Blizzard launcher instead of BattleNet, which was an interesting change
Yeah,
in
I saw
itself.
that.
Poor BattleNet. Rip. Um,
I still call it Battle.net.
being the Blizzard launcher now, kind of, you know, is a big step, meaning that we'll probably start seeing more things come out of Activision. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that, you know, maybe that new Call of Duty game coming up could run on PC through the Blizzard launcher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'd be cool.
That'd be interesting.
Oh well, it'd be cool and not cool because you see all these crappy games that have to go through. What's that client?
You play?
Yeah, you play. I think drives me crazy.
Yeah, the Blizzard launcher works though. I've never had to open up the Blizzard launcher and thought to myself,
Dang it.
I never had ever than on Uplay. It's ridiculous.
I've never felt the need to cut myself after opening the Blizzard launcher.
The only
Uplay
game that
drives
I've
me
ever
crazy.
Yeah,
opened up
Uplay
through
is insane.
the only one I've ever actually opened up through Uplay was it was the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, what it was called.
When it was free.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
when I opened it through, and I was like, "Dear Lord!"
Oh,
I was
it's
like, "This
awful.
is
It is
horrible."
terrible.
And their reward system, and you got to earn your little Uplay points that you can then use to unlock a bunch of useless crap.
I think I opened up the game once, and I was like, "Dear God!" and then I uninstalled the game just because the launcher.
jeez.
Like I was like, "Good Lord, this is horrible."
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Uplay, not a fan of Origin.
Welcome to Uplay, where you can uninstall in 4K.
Oh, man.
Uninstall in 4K. That's
Fun.
nice. Yeah, but
Gosh
then you
dang.
got to have that monitor.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta have the monitor.
Oh man, but yeah. I mean, did you guys have anything else though?
Well, I just
Dad?
have one last thing. Was do you guys think the Switch is gonna compete with these at all, or is that
No,
just
no, no.
kind of
Oh,
its own market?
Heck yeah,
It's
it's gonna
definitely
blow
its
them
own
apart.
market.
Yeah.
Completely different market.
Oh,
It's
it
definitely in its
destroys
own
them.
market.
Yep. I think Nintendo would be outright stupid to even try to convince themselves that they have a shot in, this quote unquote hardcore gamer market. I mean,
Okay,
the
dude.
the fact is, you're Nintendo. To the hardcore gamer, your machines play 3 games. They play Zelda, Mario, and Metroid.
Okay,
And
okay, but that 1 gigahertz quad core though against that
That's
1.6
true.
8 core. Come on,
Yeah,
you can't beat that.
the future is now, and there's just no denying it.
Actually,
Excuse me.
Future is now.
If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go trade in my 4K TV for a Switch.
actually,
I get to play Mario in VR.
strangely, the Nintendo Switch is $300, which is $50 more than the PlayStation 4 Slim. And the PS4 Slim's like 4 times stronger than that.
It's been out a lot longer though.
Yeah, but I
I
just think that's
mean,
kind of funny though.
It is an
But
interesting point, yeah, but
Like,
it's been out a
Nintendo's
lot
definitely
longer.
like fallen off the market though. If you can try to compare like all 3 systems and everything,
Yeah.
Nintendo's definitely like fallen off the market.
Personally,
I think they're more focused, like family focused.
Yeah,
you
well, I mean,
like,
that's how
little
they've always
kid-
been.
Like the younger generation, having all these games for focused more towards the younger generation.
Yeah,
Or casual generation.
Yes.
Keep in mind that Nintendo is huge in the handheld gaming market still because of the accessibility for just
Oh,
your
yeah.
average casual gamer.
I mean,
still love to
Pokemon.
just
Yep.
throw on my 3DS, for my
Mhm.
15-minute ride to work and play some, play some Monster Hunter, play some Super Metroid on the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
It's great for those quick little trips,
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely Nintendo definitely beats anybody else out in terms of handheld gaming. I mean,
Yep.
the PlayStation Vita wasn't sold, wasn't marketed that great.
now, here's my question: do you guys think it'd be smart if Nintendo would just stop what they're doing and maybe combine with Sony or Microsoft?
No.
You don't think so? Because
No,
like,
I think
you don't think they're
Nintendo's.
dying off.
I think no. I think Nintendo's like their own.
Nintendo already
No,
tried actually.
Nintendo has cornered the market on
Yeah.
casual family gaming.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Nintendo goes away and that
They have a
market's
niche already.
left wide open,
Yeah,
we would lose a huge chunk of the gaming world as a whole if Nintendo even considered merging like that.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of the
Yeah.
time they fly under the radar for the more hardcore gamers
Oh, yeah.
in that respect, but the fact is, even the most hardcore gamers still has respect for Nintendo and what they do.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, actually thinking about it, because I know, back in the day with the Nintendo PlayStation, when they actually partnered with them to try and make a console, that's when discs came out, and so I feel like actually by that not even working out has been a good decision for them, or something good that came out of that. Because if they went along with PlayStation, I mean, maybe they would be competing with Xbox where they're at, and that whole, like you said, niche would just be left open, and Nintendo probably wouldn't be as successful as they are now, if that did happen. So I mean, that's something that could happen then. Something to think about.
I feel like Nintendo might like kind of transfer more into focusing on their handheld devices, area, because that's been raging for how many years now?
Yeah, super long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see where they go next with this too, because the number of iterations of the DS is insane. I mean, they just recently announced that new Nintendo 2DS XL, which
Yeah.
I understand because I have my 3DS XL. I almost never use the 3D on it because I mean,
Yeah.
after a good hour of playing, my eyes are like, "Why do you hate us?" And it's a cool thing, but I think
Yeah.
most of the people I know that have one, they don't use the 3D very often. So being able to purchase
Yeah.
one without it, if I didn't have one, would be an enticing, an enticing option. But that being said, this is like the 7th version of the DS that we've seen. That's really just it's not
Yeah.
even necessarily better.
They
It's
roll out
just
they roll out with more
next.
iterations than consoles do, than the Xbox and the PlayStation do. Like PlayStation, I know for sure they come out with slim versions or some iteration like every 3 years, and they come out with a new console every 7 years. It's about like around that average.
Yeah.
With Nintendo, I don't know what their average is whenever they come out with a standalone console or some sort of handheld, but the Switch is pretty much a perfected version of the Wii U, I feel
Yeah.
like. And like you said, there's I don't know how many Nintendo DSs that they've already come out with. Like they've come out with so many different versions. Like the last I remember was the DSi, what it was, and that was years ago. I don't even know where they're at now.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been a long time.
So
The thing that's killer about it too is it doesn't matter what it actually is.
Mm.
Nintendo's gonna sell 1 million
Oh,
of
yeah.
them at least. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's what they do
I'm
best with.
expecting the next thing is going to be the new Nintendo 3DS XLS, which is actually just a regular sized, 3DS with a little more computing power.
Mm.
But it's, and they're just going to be like, but look, it's larger and smaller at the same time, and people are going to be like, I must have this.
Well, I mean, the whole reason why they even sell is because they're always coming out, like I was talking about with Xbox, they're always doing the right thing by coming out with games that they know people are going to buy. Pokemon
Yep.
or some other Mario game.
Yep.
As long as they have their main,
yeah.
as long as they have their main games that they're always coming out with, that they've been coming out with for years, they're going to sell.
I'm still
Yep.
waiting for Yu-Gi-Oh! Go.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the other side of that coin too is that you also have to figure every time that Nintendo releases a new version of the 3DS, the old one drops in price and they
Mhm.
sell a ton of them.
Yeah,
Everyone
they
who was on the fence is now like, oh, it's cheaper, I'm getting that.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
I mean, it's, you get your name out there, you hype your new product, and it inadvertently hypes the last one, which is still just as good to everybody.
Yeah. All right, so Nathan,
What's
I
up?
guess we'll make rounds. So if you were to get one, then the One X or the PS4 Pro, which one would you get then?
I'd definitely be sticking with the PS4 Pro because I mean, you guys would all be getting the PS4 Pro, so I got to play with you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a loner on the Xbox One X. But seriously, I get the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
PS4 Pro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely want to play God of War 4 and Last of Us 2 and Uncharted, all the games. So,
For sure.
but all right. Well, you guys have anything else to add?
Pickle.
No.
All righty. So that was it. Thanks, guys. If you guys are listening right now, thank you for listening.
I think
Stay
in
tuned.
conclusion, though,
What? Okay, I
definitely
was
in
closing up.
conclusion, though,
Sir.
definitely in conclusion, though, is, don't, obviously, like, whoever's listening to this podcast, make your decision based on something, on your preferences, right? You don't have to follow anything what we're saying, right? We may be having pros and cons about every system that's available out there, but it's ultimately up to your decision, right?
Oh, no, we're right.
Obviously, if you want to play something more hardcore, right? Maybe PlayStation
Yeah.
is the way to go. If you want to be more kind of laid back, casual, have a good time with like family and stuff like that, maybe Xbox or Nintendo might be your way ahead. It's just ultimately, it's decided on what you would prefer in a
Yeah.
system.
Closet gamer or hang out with the family?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm just kidding. But,
Or, but build a PC.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ultimately, guys, we're just saying
There
do
you
the
go.
right thing. Move to PC. You'll be happier. You'll be a better person.
PC Master Race.
All right, guys.
Master race.
Devin, you want to close this out?
Not really.
All right, thank you.
I don't know what to
See you guys
say.
later. Just kidding. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys come back and listen to some other ones. Come out some other podcasts. See you guys later.
Bye.